Hello, everyone. This is the Easy Allies podcast. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us this week, Brad Ellis.
Okay.
Michael Damiani.
Watch.
And Brandon Jones.
Pokemon.
Oh, man. Brad, you got me. You got me out of left field.
You broke the cycle.
Gotcha. Let me just roll the four-sided die right now. Let's do it.
Good.
Oops.
Good job.
That was a bad roll.
Well,
DQ. Oh my god. They look good.
So, Brad, could you do me a favor? I'm going to go into corrections, and could you please find that while I do
slow clap of never end.
Begin corrections music, please.
Oh, man.
Madden, hey Jones, this is cool. Madden NFL 2004 won Game of the Year at the Spike Video Game Awards in 2003.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it got one. One Madden game got it once.
Excellent.
Back in the day.
Rainbow Six Siege came out in December of last year.
Okay.
But so it'll definitely get forgotten in award season.
Yeah.
Poor game.
Poor game.
Just December games, it's tough for you. The name of Sony San Diego's game is Kill Strain.
Okay.
Ben loves XCOM 2.
Okay.
Ben loves it.
Did we say Ben doesn't like XCOM?
Ian implied that Ben does not love XCOM 2.
Yeah.
Brad, why don't you go ahead and roll it after corrections? Actually, and correct music. So what happened was a lot of people tried to correct me about Fire Emblem Fates, that I misrepresented it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What'd you do,
Here's
pal?
the thing. You got to spend money to do one option. You got to spend money to do the other option. And then you have to spend money to do the third option. I don't see how I misrepresented it. You just have to spend a lot of money on that game.
Yeah, so like 3 versions of that game?
There's 3
The
versions
devil's
of
in
that
the
game.
details always, you know.
Classic Nintendo.
But no, people will say, no, it's like 3 different games. Sure, the first 8 chapters are the same, but after that, it's like, there's some new maps.
really?
And new weapons and new characters. It's like, oh, I don't want to play that game. What's up, Damiani?
So, Pokemon.
Ooh, whoa.
Oh.
What?
Ooh.
You don't need.
That's the first thing we're talking about today, Kyle.
Yeah.
What?
You don't have. I know you personally probably have not bought both versions.
I've
at
never
the same
bought
time,
both versions of a
but
Pokemon game.
Do you disagree with what they do? Because it's even those games are arguably more the same than Fire Emblem Fates and Fire Emblem Birthright.
Nice.
I got that right.
Yeah.
And whatever the third
well, Fire
thing
Emblem
was.
Fates is, I think, all of them. It's Conquest
It's Conquest
and
and
Yeah, that's
Birthright
right.
and whatever
Yeah.
the third.
Oh, it's like Revelations or something. Go ahead and correct me. I know you can't wait
See?
to correct me on the third option. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's 2 different sides.
Yeah, I know, but to me, if I'm playing through it the one time with Pokemon Red, I don't feel like I'm missing out of Pokemon Blue. You play through Birthright, you're like, oh, I wonder what Conquest was like.
Yeah, after that wonderful show we produced, I have zero interest in playing Pokemon Blue.
Yes.
But I think in this in Fire Emblem Fates instance, there's more incentive and justification to have the multiple games because there's enough new in each one that it's not that similar. I mean, the best example was the Oracle games. Like, they were completely different games, but people were like, hey, it's Zelda Red and Zelda Blue.
Yeah.
Look at this. Pokemon is coming to Nintendo.
No.
And then you play them like, holy crap, they're completely different games.
And you get the payoff at the end.
And
you have both.
Whatever order you play them in, you get an ending based on that. Like,
Yeah.
what's up with that?
So, I mean, Fire Emblem has that. The
Yeah,
third option.
there you go.
Which you can play from the beginning if you spend the money on
See?
it.
Quick question.
Imagine if the Oracle games, up to the first dungeon, was the same in both games. Imagine that.
Yeah, I mean, they're
That'd be stupid.
roughly... they're different enough, but...
Yeah.
I mean, just this thing about Pokemon, it's like, Pokemon Red, it's not like, here's the story of Charmander and his quest to go with the nameless trainer across this part of the Kanto region. It's Kanto, right? I messed it up. Okay, good. And then the other one, it's Pokemon Blue. So we're gonna go with Squirtle. Here's Squirtle's tale of how he became the rising star Pokemon, and then they cross paths and have an epic duel. Like, Nintendo could have done that, but they decided
they didn't.
They decided to say, hey, here's like here's 3 or 4 different Pokemon and each that are different.
That was Game Freak. That was
Game Freak. Yes.
Let's not even.
Yeah,
get
we
into
gotta
thing
make
again.
that clear. Game Freak is Game
yeah.
Freak. Nintendo is Nintendo.
So what I like about this beginning of podcast discussion is that now when we post this on YouTube, Damiani is responsible for time codes. And I'm wondering, Damiani, do we even label this part of the podcast? What was that?
There's still corrections.
Damiani's
still
objection.
We're still in corrections right now.
All right.
Wait, how much is the third game or third chapter?
That one's only 20.
So 40, 40, 20?
Yes.
Or is it
I think it's 40, 20, 20.
Okay.
It's half off when you want to do the other one that is not part of the game that you
There's
purchased.
some bundle deals too. Yeah.
Yeah. But the
don't-
bundle's out. They sold out of that bundle.
But,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
I got one. But don't worry.
got one.
Awakening's better than all of them.
It is. That's the thing.
You can have relationships and have children.
Look, Fire Emblem Fates, I don't want to play you. I don't want to play you. Brad, go ahead and roll that 4-sided die
All right.
for us.
Oh, sorry, dude.
That's all right.
Brandon's first. He's number 1. And you
Yeah.
just got it, Brandon. Did you see that from all the way
I
across the
did.
way?
I can see that from all the way across the line.
Wow.
It's my die.
It's a really nice 4-sided die.
Give
Go
me
ahead.
the die and the card, please.
Brad, send both those down the way.
I
Please return the
have-
die to its rightful
Jones,
owner.
you have won the Prove It
And not
ticket.
I have no idea what just happened
I don't know.
there.
Jones won the Prove It ticket.
How?
So we do a 4-sided die now. Jones
There's 4 of us, 4-sided die.
Streamlines it. Okay.
No
I'm
dumb
fine with
games,
that.
no
we-
ties.
So 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now, Jones, if you hear any cockamamie poppycock, you can throw the Prove It ticket at anyone and they must prove it. Shall we start talking about video game news?
Please.
Sure, please.
We should ask Damiani first.
Okay, Damiani, is it time? Shall the time code say that we started talking about video games right now?
Henry, go ahead.
Okay.
Do it.
As Damiani said, we have a kind of a dry news week, but this happened just before we started the podcast. Well, I mean, later tonight. Destiny 2 leaks became pretty substantiated. What's funny about Destiny 2, before we even get into this, I want to gauge the panel about how many of you believed that Destiny, the game itself, would be a 10-year game. I hear this a lot. I hear that misconception a lot.
Yeah, right.
Great. Okay, that's good because for some reason a lot of people say Destiny isn't that game supposed to be like 10 years, like World of Warcraft? And it's like no, that's never been the case.
Destiny franchise.
It's a Destiny. It's a 10-year franchise,
Yes.
a 10-year plan, but not one game. Yep. So anyway,
Well, it could be more than a 10-year franchise. It was that the initial buy-in when they announced it, they were like, we are going to work on this for 10 years guaranteed.
This franchise. Think
I
about
don't know what that guarantee is based on, other than just the verbal agreement that they said on stage. But
Think about what company said that. The company that makes Call of Duty every
Yeah.
year. How
Yeah.
could you even believe that?
yeah, Call of Duty's a 20-year franchise.
yeah,
Forever.
Yeah. So okay, good. I just wanted to clear that up with our panel. Because I hear like the entire time Destiny was out, it's like this year's game's gonna last 10 years. It's like no, it won't.
It's got
Well,
PS3 graphics for 10
to be
years.
honest, I didn't think like that was it, but I thought that was potentially one alternative because arguably World of Warcraft is the same game. Like,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
they like Cataclysm was they like reworked it. Like it's a much different game now. But like it's been the same subscription, and granted this game doesn't have a subscription, so like it's not unheard of that a game can go now 12 years and just add stuff onto the core experience.
I feel like PC games have a longer life cycle like that because they upgrade it periodically
Sure.
before going out.
It just sounded,
consoles, there's
they
limited
did make
hardware.
it sound when they came out with Destiny. They're like, we're gonna shake this up, and it was like, not so
No.
much. Nope,
Yeah.
just more
No.
expansions
Well,
and.
I think they did. I think it's pretty huge that an expansion for a AAA game from 3 years ago came out
Yeah.
last week.
That's the difference. Yeah.
Yeah, that you can
Oh,
still.
for sure.
that's
But I meant like they're definitely doing 2
Yes.
and 3.
maybe 4, maybe not 4.
Maybe.
Well, maybe
not
not
four.
3. Let's talk about 2
The
first.
prequel.
Sure.
I guarantee there'll be 3.
Let's talk about 2. So here's what happened. We had a NeoGAF thread. Oh, great. Wow. Brandon Jones almost.
He said
pulled
he
out-
could guarantee it's gonna be a 3. I was like, all right.
Let's do it. We're gonna pull
Yeah,
that
prove
out.
it.
Give me
The
Activision
bait.
number.
The bait.
Yep. Okay. So, okay. So we had a NeoGAF thread. A couple of people said, "Hey, this is happening. It's going to be on PC as well." Destiny 2.
Yes.
And then what happens is this happened. I think it was the second time this year where there's a NeoGAF thread about a leak or a rumor, and then Kotaku says, "Oh, we should run our story." And so Kotaku has even more information about it.
Oh, I see.
We learned that it's very likely that this game will not allow your Destiny 1 character to carry into it.
Rip.
Yep. Let me go through some more information, but I think that's probably the most interesting part. We'll also be on PC with the help of Vicarious Visions and High Moon Studios.
Oh.
You know, two of those
Wow.
sweet Activision studios
Like
who
the
don't.
Transformers High Noon guys?
Yeah. High Moon, actually.
High Moon.
High
Yeah.
Moon.
Yeah, not noon. Moon.
Yeah. High
like
Moon.
The moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
You make a Transformers game that doesn't sell crazy? Sorry, make side games, make ports for the rest of your life. It's a bummer. What else do I have? I guess that's kind of it. It's a big reboot. It's going to be a
reboot.
Yes, it will not be on PS3. It will not be on 360. It'll be a substantial sequel, which is it was meant. The original plan was for it to come out this year. It's not. Luke Smith, who worked on last year's expansion, which is named
Last year's Taken King?
The Taken King. Yep. He was the director of Taken King. He is the new director of Destiny 2 and kind of came in and said, no, let's wipe all this out. Let's make a sequel, baby. bigger story, bigger environments, go into Saturn, let's make a Destiny 2.
Let's make what we promised originally.
Yeah, I think
And
that's
looks
kind
like
of
you
what they're
start
working
from
on.
Scratch.
Yes.
So the treadmill begins again.
So what I do want to touch on there is I have a quote because, as John said, it kind of was, in a weird way, kind of implied that this was a 10-year game, which I think is where the misconception come from. Last year, when the Taken King came out, I found this headline from GameSpot that said, you will be able to take your character with you throughout those 10 years. But I have the direct quote. This is from the Destiny engineering lead, Luke Timmons. We certainly take it seriously that Destiny is a 10-year thing, he said. It's a long-term thing, and with these adventures that we're adding, my contract to you and any player is that your guardian will always be there.
Will always be there.
Yes.
Where is
It
there?
exists
Yeah.
on the server.
Yeah.
We're
In a
fulfilling it.
fan-created figure on my shelf?
Yeah, we'll 3D print your
They're
character.
keeping the
Yeah,
servers
yeah,
up
yeah.
for
Yeah,
10
yeah.
years.
So I think that was really clever language because at the time you got the headline, your character will last for 10 years. But it looks like with Destiny 2, it'll probably get dropped. You'll probably get
He'll
some
always
advantage.
be there in the original Destiny. Good night,
Yeah.
everybody.
That's
So what do we take from that? What's up, Damiani?
like a character that would really hurt to lose all that like progress, everything you've done. I understand in an online service based game like which is Destiny is like almost an MMO that you can't to get new people to join into to hop on the treadmill. You can't let them get too far behind and stuff. So every so often you kind of have to hit like the reset button on like what is the new stuff, and a new person could just jump in and ignore all that past stuff necessarily. Like you could still do it, but everything that's new, you have a chance of like catching up and like doing it with everyone else.
Right.
You don't want to give people who've been playing the game too much of an advantage.
But
you want
you
to
still
give
want
them
them to
you want to give
feel-
them something. It's usually always been you have your character, it's levels, like your stats, like every piece of gear you've ever had, even if it's irrelevant anymore, you still have that. And players like to see that carry over through the years. So it's a little weird that even if they want to make a whole new game, that they can't just find a way to carry over like the basic stuff, like hey, your character will like boost to like 50 or whatever the
Yeah.
heck the level is, so you do not have to go through that again. You can skip right to the meat of the game. You pass the first leveling hurdle. Where new people, it's going to be more exciting to them, like I'm excited to level up a character, I've never played Destiny before. I think it might be more intriguing to them.
Yeah.
So that's always risky because veteran players tend to really get burned out of the leveling part of an MMO. There's like, can we just move on to like the new content, please? The stupid gate you're making me trying to like, get through. It's kind of boring.
Brad, do you think it's a good call to just drop Destiny 1 like it's dead weight?
I'm really happy they're doing that. I don't want the games to be limited in any way by old tech.
Sure.
I want them to
Right,
deliver on
because
what
they
they
had to
originally
run on the
promised and everything
PS3.
like that. Yeah. I think like how their impression of is leveling a character is like going through the campaign or the story. To them, I think they're seeing not necessarily as grinding your way through level. It's like going through the story and enjoying it kind of thing. I think that's where they're coming from at it at. Like they don't think the leveling experience is as bad as everyone else because it doesn't take that long to get level cap in that game.
Especially, I think, with Taken King, and probably still, they have skips.
Yeah.
You can buy skips when you like get the packages and things like that. So it's not unlike them to do skips, but they're just saying, hey, all that stuff, buy. New characters.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
To pass down some form of skipping.
Yeah.
Where like
Yeah.
I could pass down crystals, or I could pass down weapons or armor or something like.
You've all made a case
So you
for-
go into
Yeah.
Destiny 2 and like everyone's got to play through the first area where you do a couple battles or something, and then there's like a crypt you go down in and you find like the corpse of your old player and you dig it up and there's their equipment.
That'd be cool if you
okay.
get some. Yeah, like something to
So a
remember
little
from
bit of
your
both. So then
characters.
like
Always be with you.
so that like yeah.
Your character is now the ghost that's with you.
Yeah.
But there is,
thanks, Brad.
that's always interested me in MMOs, Damiani. Is if you did like a sequel to an MMO, it's like, okay, well, we don't want you to play your character because we want this to take place like 1,000 years later. But we'll give you this. You can buy like stock, or like, you can buy you can open a bank account or something that will appreciate, and then you can withdraw that in the next game.
Cool. Go ahead.
It just seems too soon to jump to Destiny 2 and abandon everything that you did before.
Nope. Bye.
Yeah,
I don't know
Like I said,
about that.
you played a AAA game for 3 years.
But aren't they trying to treat it more like an MMO than just
They
like
are,
a game
because
with
those
online?
expansions aren't cheap.
So I
Yeah, right,
get
yeah.
they're trying. It's something a little bit different. Like they're trying a little bit different than the average like MMO, but it's
Yeah.
still kind of categorized as that. And I heard both Brad and Jones's arguments about the leveling doesn't take as long. It's not as like intensive. But then that only makes me believe that the argument should be that then why make you create a new character and lose all that stuff if the levels aren't that important. It's most people want you to make a new character or start over in something because that is such a long kind of grind, like you getting on that wheel and just grinding the wheel. It takes a long time. It eats up a lot of the time of your subscription time and stuff. So like, hey, you're staying sub
Yeah,
for that long
that
to hit
money.
that. But if that's removed, I totally get playing through the story, like the MMO I play it. You have to play through the story to advance all the new stuff in 14.
What MMO do you play?
In Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, okay.
Not every MMO does that,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't have anything against like staying the player. Like it's something new. You need to play through the story stuff. You can't just jump ahead of that. That's totally fine. I think it's more of like the progress you've made as a character, the collectibles and stuff like that. It would really bum me out if I did all this work to earn all this stuff. And I can't take any of it with me.
You couldn't take anything from
character
11 to 14?
name, like a mount or weapon or some kind. It's
11
like
and
a
14
rare.
are different games. 11 and 14.
Yeah, but how long was 11 actually is your 10-year game.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, there
It's
it
been
is.
around. and
Well, I was
it
trying
had
to
its
think,
due
like,
time.
are Fallout and Borderlands, are those like the most expansioned games where like they'll be releasing expansions for like a good 2-3 years? It actually surprised me that Fallout 4 is like already done. Didn't they just release like the last one?
Did they do their last
It
expansion?
was like what, a year? Like maybe a year and a
theme
half.
park one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And only
Yeah,
like a
that's-
handful of those were. I
pretty
think only
good.
like 2 of them were actual like story DLC.
Oh,
There
yeah.
were a lot that were just like
Star Wars-
this functionality or
Battlefront's not done yet.
yeah.
Yeah,
Battlefront's
they
got
have
the
that.
Death Star and then
Death
something
Star.
after it.
Death
It's
Star just came
Rogue
out,
One.
yeah.
And the Death Star's the best. Just yeah.
Wait, have you
off
played it?
topic. It is the best thing they've added. Yeah,
The
no
trailer
question.
was so good.
Yeah,
I watched
yeah.
that trailer and I wanted, oh man, I
The
should
maps
reinstall
are great.
that.
You do a trench run. That's really great.
You do the trench run in
They
the game?
assign players. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you 3 and you 3 go. Try the trench, and so all the TIE fighters just go after those.
And it's not fake?
3 people. No, yeah, you
It's
gotta.
not fake.
When I watched the trailer, I thought this is fake. This
It's like
isn't real.
it's one thing when you lose a multiplayer match and it's like you lose. You're like, it's another thing when the you lose screen is the Death Star blowing up. And you're like, oops. Should have focused a little
Stakes.
bit more
we
in
were
my
gonna crush the
interceptor.
rebels with that.
Yeah,
That's so
pretty
cool.
good.
All right. Obviously, I don't want to talk about Destiny 2 too long because those are rumors. None of that's been promised from Activision, so no reason to rage yet.
I have
but-
one thing to say about
ahead.
Destiny on consoles.
What?
So it's a console game, pretty much.
Yes.
And they know console gamers will pay for more constantly, way more often.
Yes.
So they do Call of Duty. They're totally fine with making a new game, making more money, and maybe they want to like reset everything. Like the classes are completely different, maybe now.
Oh, absolutely.
It sounds like they just want a fresh start completely.
Which I think
That's-
is the right way to go. I kind of applaud it. To be
If that
honest.
official news came out and
Yeah.
they unfortunately you're gonna have to do a new character, that's like the first thing I would look for is like, okay, what a crazy change did you have to
Yeah,
make?
like, why did
that
I
there's
do
no
this?
way
Yeah.
you look back at the old leveling system and you're like, that just doesn't work anymore.
So here's what I would say then, because I do feel like there's a little bit of injustice there, is never say you have a 10-year plan. Never say your character will
Exactly.
follow you for 10 years. 10
Never-
years is too long to plan.
When
for
a
any
company
human.
tells you that,
Yeah.
do not believe it so
Yeah.
easily.
That's how I feel. It's like things change. Too many things
Yeah,
change for you
always.
to make 10-year plans. Beyond Good and Evil 2 image was posted by, we say Michel Ansel or Michel?
I say Michel Ancel.
Michel Ansel, director, writer, designer of Beyond Good and Evil 1, on his Instagram account tweeted an anthropomorphic pig on a guy who looked like Solid the Snake with goggles, with the caption, "Somewhere in System 4, ... Thanks, #Ubisoft, for making this possible." System 4 is the system of planets in which Beyond Good and Evil 1 takes place. It's clearly Beyond Good and Evil. It's clearly saying thank you for letting this happen. I think it's very likely to believe that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is in production right now.
Was he wearing a Splinter Cell mask? Is that
The
what you
pig?
said? Yeah.
No.
He's like a Metal Gear Solid
Oh,
mask?
no. The guy looks like Harry Snake, so he doesn't look like
Oh, I
Solid
thought you
Snake.
said he's like wearing.
He looks
the-
like Punished Snake.
I was like,
He's got
okay,
a
well,
beard.
there's gonna be cameo in Splinter
No,
Cell.
he's got a beard. I shouldn't have said he looks like Snake, just to give you an idea.
Okay,
He's
gotcha.
like a little pig on a guy with a beard's back.
I like that I saw a lot of negative reactions to this.
Really?
Just because people are so. It's even like if Gabe announced like a Half-Life 3 thing now, like I wonder if like the majority of people would just be like, how dare you?
It's kind of
It's like they cried wolf too many times. You know,
Yeah,
it's
they
just
did
like
that tease
ha
years
ha,
ago.
Gabe, and he's like, no, for real, we actually do it. Like if the 3 logo hit during a Sony press conference, like would half the audience laugh? Would they be like, aha, Sony, thanks? You know, or like, no, we're actually doing it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. Like
is
a lot
like
of
that.
people want it so bad. They're like, I'm not even gonna think about this today because no, stop it. Give me a trailer. Give me gameplay. Give me an actual announcement.
How do you feel about Michel taking the announcement into his own hands as an Instagram post?
I always want to know the finer points of that. Just like what approval did he have to go through? Did he just say
Probably
what the hell?
none.
What
I'm
the
gonna
hell?
say
We're
none.
doing it.
Yeah. Do you like that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I always like it when it does seem like a power struggle a little bit. I always like him kind of, and certainly interesting from his perspective that now, who is this? Who are these people? Is this was his name? Oh, Paige? Was that the pig?
Oh, PEJ, sure.
I think it was PEYJ. Or
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Paige. Was that young Paige? Is that like Paige's offspring? Is this the future? Is it the past?
Yeah.
Like, what's happening?
What is happening? I
So-
mean,
It's fun. I like when they do stuff like that.
before we move on.
Ben Affleck was like, "Oh, here's Deathstroke." Anyway, moving on. You're like, "Wait, what? You're in an edit bay? You
I
just
love
show up
that.
Deathstroke?"
See, I do like it. I like this, and I like that. I like Zack Snyder saying like, "Okay, we finished with Batman. Here he is." Like, I
Yeah.
love that. Seems very personal to me.
Yeah.
I'm into it. They're clearly excited to
Personal is
share.
a great way to put it. It's
Yeah.
just all of a sudden like, yo, this game's being made by human beings. I forgot.
Before we move on from this, though, we should look back to a rumor that I don't think I acknowledged.
Still about Beyond Good and Evil 2.
It is.
Okay, good. Because I was going to wait for you to finish the rest of the room.
Destructoid ran an article back in March that Beyond Good and Evil 2 will be a 2017 NX exclusive.
What?
Damiani, is that true?
Oh, there was a thread today as well alongside that. Or what, did it get bumped or whatever?
It got bumped
Yeah, saying it was being funded and
by Nintendo.
by
That's what-
Nintendo.
yep.
Bayonetta 2 style.
So that's how it was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be possibly a launch title for NX, if not like a launch window title. Sorry. I totally believe that's plausible.
I don't want to know if it's plausible, Damiani. I want to know if you believe, period.
I believe that it's probably going to happen.
I
You
believe
do?
it.
Okay.
I believe
and
it.
Brad believes.
I believe
Yeah.
it.
You
Wow.
believe Nintendo is funding Beyond Good
They
and
did
Evil 2?
Bayonetta 2. Anything is possible.
Bayonetta,
Sure.
I think Bayonetta 2, as great of a game it is way more niche than Beyond Good and Evil. Like, I think Beyond Good and Evil can reach a larger audience than Bayonetta 2.
I almost want to take that bet, Damiani.
I'm not necessarily saying it's a bet. I just think that if marketed the right way, I think it'd have more widespread appeal. Plus, if they go, like as you said, like it might be a prequel or something, or they're staying with the familiar cast at least, or some of them, that will help out a lot. Like if they, because what was the teaser video we saw forever ago? The one that was like
It was just like the pig guy.
yeah,
sitting
it was
there.
the pig guy there. I don't know. Like that was to me, it was a teaser, whatever. But I do think that marketed the right way, I think it could do better and could be something big for both Ubisoft and Nintendo. And there's always been that talk about like how Ubisoft did not abandon Nintendo yet, like that they're always like one of their biggest supporters. That's why there's that fear that if they get bought out by that French company, the one in France that's
Vivendi,
threatening
like the Vivendi stuff.
Vivendi. Jeez, how did I not remember that? They're threatening sort of to do like a hostile takeover.
It looks more and more
of
likely.
Ubisoft, and they're worried will that like affect that relationship because
It will.
does seem like Ubisoft definitely wants to work with Nintendo again on NX, but
Yeah.
will that of course Vivendi like hey we did all this stuff and then we wanted to get out of games, now we're getting back in games. Okay.
Well, I mean, it was Activision. They had Activision.
Yeah.
So,
Activision.
to Damiani's point, I actually think Beyond Good and Evil 2 is very niche. But
Me too.
I
Yeah.
think it's a good way, Brad, respond to this, for Nintendo to say, here's the NX, we are a core console. Mm-hmm.
That's a core game.
Right, that's
a
how I
core
feel.
game.
It's a street cred game,
Yeah, that's
right?
that's definitely a street cred game for sure.
And so, I mean, even if it doesn't sell more, I think it says, hey, the NX is a serious console.
Yeah, let's just hope it turns out better than Bayonetta. Like, here's like awesome stuff. Nothing else. Just kidding.
Hey, man.
I think it's like a sign of good faith, though.
You're saying the Wii U is Bayonetta 2 and then nothing?
Well, I'm saying like it was there, then
Uh-huh.
stuff just started dropping,
Did you
especially
forget
from
about-
third
Did
parties.
you forget about Devil's Third?
Yeah, I did actually. I did forget about that game.
Yeah, I see your point. I see what you're saying.
No. I mean, I guess the other concern would be like the same backlash that Bayonetta 2 received, that hopefully everyone's matured this time around. If this is true, it's like, hey, well, I want this on my Xbox One or my PS4. Like, why do I have to buy an NX to play this? Like, well, Nintendo paid the money to make it happen.
Welcome to the business.
Hey, this game would not exist if they didn't, take the action that they did. So either shut up or go out and buy it and enjoy it if you really care about it. I'm sure we'll see another small meltdown of people who were like, NX.
NX is gonna be great. That reveal, I fear every single week that the NX will be revealed the day after we post this podcast.
Oh, please no.
Yeah.
No to
Just
that.
scrap the whole
And
podcast.
Yeah.
here's a great
That'd be so
easy
great.
bet for you, Kyle.
What?
Prediction? Which Nintendo staff member is going to pull it out of their breast pocket
Ooh,
or
the
their
NX.
or their coat?
Yep.
Or their coat.
It's a classy move.
Who's doing it? Is it going to be Reggie?
Pull an NX.
Pull it out. Just like, this is the NX.
Yeah.
Well, are they
Really-
gonna do it on stage, or is it
Yeah.
gonna be in a
Wait.
video?
Oh, it'll be a video.
That's a whole other bet.
I think it's gonna be Nintendo Direct.
I think it's gonna be on stage. I'll take stage.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
wish stage, but I think
Oh.
it'll be Direct.
Sorry. This
What?
isn't news because it's going to be nothing, but it was a pretty funny, weird thing that Nintendo did that they probably should have thought about before posting it. They tweeted today that the Nintendo World Store second floor will be closed on October 1st for a private event that is
Oh yeah,
happening.
no, those happen all the
It
time.
happens all the time.
Nobody
but
get excited about that.
Oh, yeah,
the
don't tell me. I got excited for a second.
The retweets and the stuff. I was like,
what?
I was like, that's not how Nintendo's announcing that they're gonna announce the NX. It's like,
Announcing the
it's
phone
like
game.
shame on you, Nintendo.
private event.
Come on.
Another thing happened today. PSX was announced for 2016.
Oh,
It'll
yeah.
be December 3rd and 4th at the Anaheim Convention Center, which is
Best
very
convention
relevant
center.
to the people
Our
on this couch.
backyard.
Yeah, that's nice. That's pretty
Let's have a
cool.
Feels good,
convention,
man.
baby.
There's not much to talk about here because not much else was announced. So I want to play a game.
Okay.
I want to play which will be the biggest announcement.
Oh,
What will come
yeah.
out the best? Who will be the what's going to have us the most excited coming
Is
out of
this
PSX?
personal or like public?
Let's make it personal. So
Already
I have 5 games here.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
with
you're
the
giving
pick
us
from
the
these.
games? Boo.
Kingdom Hearts 3,
Okay, we're good.
Red Dead Redemption, Ni no Kuni 2,
Right.
Spider-Man, or Other.
Wait,
Other.
was that 5?
Yeah, that was well, Other counts as the 5th.
I know. Yes, you're right.
Okay. So Jones, why don't you go first? Tell us what's going to be the biggest game out of PSX.
I would be surprised to see a Red Dead 3 there, but I think that would be the biggest announcement for me.
Okay. You've made your claim. Do you really think that Rockstar would let Sony have that announcement at their stupid event in December?
No.
Oh, okay.
They're
sure.
stupid.
That I would be surprised if it was there.
Okay.
If that, because no one would be on stage. Rockstar certainly wouldn't like show up and talk about it.
Hey,
you know?
guys.
That wouldn't be followed or preceded by like, "Hi, I'm Bill from Rockstar."
Jones, I put it on this list because for some reason I am very confident it is going to be there.
Wow.
I'm just feeling it. The
like it.
vibrations have been shaking this earth for too long. Red Dead is showing up at PSX.
I like it.
I don't think it's going to be an exclusive. I don't even think timed console
I
exclusive.
have gone through 2 recent events and said it was not going to be there, and I won both times.
Yeah.
So
This is the
third
time,
time's
buddy.
a charm. It could be.
You don't know how
How
long
many times have we said that?
I bet on Last Guardian
This
for
is the
so
time.
many years before it came back. You know, I was feeling the vibrations that whole time. IGN said it was canceled. I said no, it's not. I still
Oh,
feel its
yeah, what a
heartbeat.
debacle.
I still
that
feel
was
its heartbeat.
That and Kotaku said 14 or 15 was canceled. That was
When did Kotaku said 15 was canceled?
no.
Before they re-revealed it.
Yeah,
at
before they
TGS.
revealed it, they said
Or
they
no,
had
I'm
the-
sorry,
they said-
E3.
They said we have sources who have said, and anyway,
Damiani, what's the biggest story out of PSX?
it's probably gonna be of those choices, Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yep.
It's either that or it's gonna be Final Fantasy VII HD remake. Is
Oh,
gonna
I
be
didn't
the-
write that
HD
down.
That's your
Heck
other.
That's the
yeah,
other.
That's
dude.
the other. So I
Heck
just-
yeah! I should have written
So
that
it's
down.
gonna be
yeah.
one of those two.
Yep.
Could be both, but only one can be the king.
We should say that we can almost guarantee Kingdom Hearts 3 will be there because the last time we saw it,
They
it was
said
promised.
winter.
They said December
Oh,
specifically.
they just say December. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you for correcting me, Kyle.
When they say that?
Last time we
But
saw something new, they said you won't see anything
when
new
is
from Kingdom
Jump
Hearts.
Festa again?
Uh-oh. Is that a December
January
thing?
into December?
I don't know. I have no idea what Jump Festa is.
Shonen Jump.
Okay, anyway. Moving along. Yes, so...
Did you just scoff?
I don't know what it is also, Kyle, but
scoffed at me.
I've seen
Damn.
Jump Festa trailer too many times to not know.
So
that
it's like a TGS, mid-year TGS, basically?
Sort of.
Is it mostly Shonen Jump stuff? Is it mostly?
is it like all
it's
it
not
is?
mostly video games, but it's a
Wow.
lot of here's what Dragon Ball Z is going to
It's
look
like
like this year.
my understanding, it's like a thing based around Shonen Jump, but there's like
Okay.
games and stuff there too. I think, right?
Sort of.
All right, dude.
All right.
Why don't you educate
Apparently-
us?
yeah, educate us. We have the time.
I'm sorry, Kyle.
What?
Kingdom Hearts 3
Okay.
will actually be at PSX.
Yes.
So you were right.
Okay.
I just was having fun messing with you right there.
All right. Enough, Damiani.
Because Kyle likes to get messed with.
Your Japanese superiority.
Good thing Ben's not here. He'd just be like, whoosh, nope.
Brad, is Damiani right?
My answer was gonna be other Final Fantasy VII
Oh, okay.
for me, especially.
Yo, Nomura comes up dressed as Cloud on stage.
Yo, he came
with
out last year
with the Buster Sword.
Yeah. Release
with
date,
the
right?
Geostigma
Yes.
arm.
Release date,
on a
right?
bike.
No.
He drives out like in the bike with the smoke
Yeah,
and
yeah.
fog.
No
at
release date.
PSX.
I think we'll absolutely get a release date. Final Fantasy 15 will be out at that point. 15
Oh, yeah.
will be in the
the
past.
hurdle is clear.
Yeah, World of
It's
Final Fantasy is
time
behind
to
us.
move on.
I think
Yeah.
they're
Time to
learning
look to the
lessons
future.
from. I want to believe they're learning lessons from 15, and they're not going to announce that date till it is like way more like not 6 months in advance.
Here's the thing, Brad. That
Like,
gives
we're
you
2 months.
They'll
polished.
give a year. They'll give the year, but they're not going to give month day.
Polished.
Yeah, it's coming out in March.
With that company,
How much of
takes 10
7
years to
remake
make
have
a
you
game.
seen? Man, Kyle, what behind closed doors
I
actions
saw
do you
like
have?
I saw what 8 seconds of gameplay. I saw
And it was
polished
chunky.
game.
Yeah,
no,
it
it's
was
not
like-
chunky.
That was a
It looked
year ago, though.
It looked
Yeah.
like 15's early footage and stuff where Noctis was fighting stuff and it was like chuggy, chuggy, chuggy.
Oh my
Frame
God.
rate
It's been a
down.
while, dude. It's
That
been
was on a
cooking.
PS4. That was not on a PS4 Pro.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. PS4 Pro is going to save everything.
Dude,
yes.
it's been cooking for a while. Yeah, I think it's on Unreal Engine 4, so it'll be easier to make, a little smoother.
But Brad,
What?
the new world they might reveal in Kingdom Hearts 3, it might finally be Star Wars.
Oh yeah, for sure you're gonna have like a lightsaber.
It's in
keyblade.
Anaheim! Come on! Star Wars! It's happening,
That's
baby!
what I thought at D23. And they're like, here's
No,
some
no.
art.
I don't think so. I don't
Yes,
think Nomura
Star
wants
Wars.
Star Wars in there. I don't
But
think he wants
the-
it.
Yeah, no more.
No,
I don't want
he-
Star
Wait,
Wars.
no,
Nomura
Star
was Star Wars in there, but Pirates was
He's
okay.
like, Yoda with buckles, yes.
Because there's the thing, Star Wars is too much. Pirates is like, okay, there's only this many characters. It's nice and
Star
contained.
Wars is too much.
Wow.
It's too much.
Are you
Star
insane?
Wars
Johnny
would be the
Depp.
thing that would break the canon of Kingdom Hearts.
We've jumped the shark now.
Kingdom Hearts is held
It's
strong
too
by
much to
the
unpack.
13 pillars of nonsense, but it's Star Wars
So-
that sends the whole thing toppling
Jones,
over.
we're traveling in our
Not
gummy
Tron,
ship.
not Pirates.
Exactly, those are small franchises. Let's say, okay, we're in a gummy ship, Jones. Where do we
No,
stop?
you're not in the gummy ship.
Where do we stop?
No.
What do we get off on?
They're gonna be
There's
flying.
planets all over the place. You
Yeah.
stop at
How
Tatooine.
How they're gonna reveal it is Sora is gonna be on the Millennium Falcon, and it's gonna be Han Solo and Chewie with
you're
him.
gonna land on Tatooine. You're gonna go straight
Yeah.
to Luke and look. Hi guys, what's up?
Yeah, you're gonna start
You,
on
you
Tatooine
guys
stuff.
mind going with Tachi Station with me in a place like I don't get this franchise, Brad.
Okay.
I get the franchise.
So it's just episode 4 is what you're saying. Like that's the
Yeah,
the
do something
extent
it's
of it.
everything
Iconic,
at once
yeah.
because who
Okay.
cares? Like that's Kingdom Hearts. It's no, and then you go to Tachi Station and like Leia's already there, and like you go, and
I think it's gonna be newer Star
you
Wars
find
stuff.
out their brother sister in the
yeah,
cantina.
It's gonna be episode 7 and
It
like
could
8.
be. It might. Yeah, they might edge.
It's gonna be newer.
Edge them out and be like, it has to be from the new.
That's why Big Hero 6 is in the
If they
game.
got
like
on the
to promote their
Falcon
new stuff.
and instead
Yeah.
of Han Solo was Indiana Jones, I would bat an eye. I literally would not for a moment be like, "What?"
Yeah.
Be like, "It's Kingdom Hearts, baby."
Indiana Jones is more likely than Star Wars.
No, there's not gonna be
Yeah.
Nazis in Kingdom Hearts.
There's not Nazis
No
in
one's gonna
every...
get their face melted off in
yeah.
Kingdom Hearts.
Look away,
No one except for me.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like someone, like an
just
organization
burn Jiminy
13
with a
member
magnifying glass.
drinking the wrong cup and like turning to ash.
All the Sora faces come out. From
Like
the
that'd be
box.
incredible.
This
I would
is
love
good
it.
stuff.
Sora's everywhere.
I'm pulling for Willow. That's just me.
Oh
No. I don't want that. You stay out.
The last story isn't... This is not really a headline. This is just something that stood out to me today. Sonic Boom Fire and Ice is reviewing poorly. let me tell you just how poorly. It has a 66 on OpenCritic. This is something I actually really like that OpenCritic does. It is in the bottom 29.9% of all games scored on OpenCritic. That percentage is really cool. This game was meant to come out last year, a year after the first round of Sonic Boom games. It was delayed so they could fix it, so they could make a quality Sonic Boom game for the 3DS.
Must have been really.
Can you imagine what it was like before then?
The Knuckles glitch must have been nothing compared to what was going on in this 3DS game.
But this 3DS game already came out a year after the first 3DS game.
Yeah.
And then they said, we're going to delay it. And now we got this.
You know,
it's Sonic.
I hate to tell you, but it's Sonic. Which makes me sad.
They probably just don't care about this one. They're already on
They
the
do.
Sonic. They're on the Sonic
They're on the
Mania.
Mania boom.
They're on
They're
the
on the
Mania,
train.
and they're on to the next 3D one with Sonic and New Sonic, Old Sonic.
Yeah.
They just don't care. They're just like, get this out the door. Don't care anymore. Just Sonic Boom is done. It's over. We just don't care about this anymore. Past is past.
So, Jones, do you think it was a good idea to delay it if 1 year later you're just still going to get raked over the coals?
I have no idea. That is based on so much I don't know.
Yeah, good point.
Just,
to be honest.
all I see is just pathways going in millions of different directions. It's just like, why, maybe it was ready, maybe it wasn't. Maybe there was something that actually could have been technically fixed, maybe not. Maybe you needed to push it into another fiscal year for some weirdo reason.
I gotta be honest, I really believed in this.
They
Wow.
found out.
What's up?
They discovered they had licensed music composed in it.
By Michael Jackson.
From a famous musician. They had to go back and spend the year recomposing the music to remove all of it.
It was Bruno Mars.
Because they didn't want to have a repeat of Sonic 3.
It was Bruno Mars.
Was it Bruno? I thought it was Drake.
What?
Wow.
I heard Bruno Mars.
Okay, Bruno Mars. That Uptown Funk beat was used in Hidden Crystal Palace Chemical Plant Zone 3.
I'm sorry, do you hear that?
Oh, I know that music.
It sounds like it's podcast halftime!
Oh, I thought you were going to say, like, that's Sonic slowly dying somewhere.
Sonic is alive and well. Don't let this one game affect you.
Dude, I've been around for a while, and I'm used to it by now.
It's just one game.
I believe in the new one. Mania, I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Brad, you let me know when it's podcast halftime.
It's, wait. Oh, now it is.
The following are the official sponsors of Easy Allies for the month of September. Last podcast for September, right here. Enjoy it. Michael Kazachenko, Mango, Sweet Justice, a sound design company based in England that's worked on Battlefield, Mirror's Edge, and Call of Duty. You can see their work and hear their work at www.sweetjustice.audio. Scorn, an atmospheric horror adventure developed by Ebb Software, set in a nightmarish universe of odd forms and somber tapestry. Go to scorn-game.com for more information. YoYoTricks.com, a tutorial website for teaching people how to yo-yo. To buy yo-yos and learn how to get started, visit YoYoTricks.com or their YouTube channel. Lordran and Beyond. I'm gonna do it again. They deserve it.
Okay.
Lordran and Beyond, the particularly soulful webcomic. Particularly is a tough one. You can visit LordranandBeyond.com to read an ongoing collection of stunningly drawn Dark Souls-inspired comics for free. And check out Patreon.com/LordranandBeyond to support the creators and keep the comics coming. All of these links are available in the description. Thank you to our sponsors. I have a corrections.
Go ahead.
Michael Kazachenko and Mango do not have links. Naturally. They're people.
So what?
They're not
He
companies.
said links
so all
to
of those
all
links.
Of them,
Oh,
so he's
okay,
correcting
nice.
himself
So,
right
but we do
now.
have the websites there. We do say the Scorn game, the YoYoTricks.com, the Lordran and Beyond Patreon page.
Oh my God, there's so
that.
many good love and respect questions this week. I'm overwhelmed.
That's a
right
good
now.
place to be.
Yeah,
I
it's
think.
great.
I'm overwhelmed. Let's at least have.
That's a thin news week though. That we're already into LNR.
Oh yeah, man.
Wow.
That's
Hey,
okay.
We're 40 minutes into this podcast.
Yeah.
That was some good news. That was all right. I think we there's
Feels like a quickie.
basically what you do with news is you just talk. You let it launch you into other things.
Yeah.
Yeah, segue.
You know, it was good. Yeah, we don't have to talk specifically about those Destiny rumors, but how they make us feel. That's what I'm more interested in. Anyway, let's start our level of love and respect.
Ooh.
Love and respect. He's like kill me as he's playing.
getting
He's like,
crunchy.
I heard the remix.
It's kind of techno though. I like
Yeah.
Upgrade me.
Okay, this is easy. I'll start this one for Brad because of a tweet that I saw him make earlier today.
Ooh.
Hey, allies. 30 years ago, on September 26th, 1986, the first Castlevania game was released in Japan on the Famicom Disk System. Last year, Konami released the newest installment of the series,
Oh no.
a Castlevania-themed pachinko machine. A series like Castlevania deserves to be celebrated on its 30th anniversary. However, Konami seemed to have forgotten it. Would you please give the gaming community a huge favor and celebrate with us Castlevania's birthday by sharing your hopes for the future of the series? Happy 30th, my sweet Castlevania. Thank you for being there in my childhood. Love and respect, Phoenix Rouge.
Yes. Oh, Castlevania.
Castlevania.
So good, man. Fond memories.
Well, give me your hopes then. Give me your hopes for the future of Castlevania.
Well, obviously, I wanted to bring it back. I think it'd be a safe bet to start with like the more 2D Metroidvania style. I would love if they did like a collection of a bunch of them together.
What would you want in that collection?
I want 1 through 4 all
Well,
on there. Mm-hmm. I want Rondo of Blood, the MSX version. I want Symphony of the Night. It's like, can I have all of them?
Brad, have you played through all those games?
Yeah.
I don't think I knew you were such a big Castlevania
Yeah,
guy.
dude. Huge Castlevania fan. I beat all the PS2 ones that are like, they're all...
I watched you stream one of those. Actually.
beat
It was cool.
all the Lords of Shadow, which are,
Yeah.
a little wonk. Mm-hmm. I beat all the GBA ones. I think I've beaten every Castlevania except Judgment. I think I didn't beat because it's a dumb fighting
Doesn't
game.
count. Doesn't count.
I think I've beaten all of them though.
64?
Yeah. Oh no, I didn't
there's
beat
two
the
of them.
second one. What was it? Curse of something. Legacy of Darkness. I didn't beat Legacy of Darkness.
All right, we got to see Brad beat that game. So, Brad, you're a huge fan of the franchise.
Oh yeah, I was for sure.
Tell a modern game developer, or we'll say publisher, tell Konami, they're still making games. What makes Castlevania special?
What makes it special?
Yeah.
It's like simple and solid platforming in a lot of like ways, and just like, cause like they're games like the really famous ones, I guess. And I don't push anything like technical. They're just like really like standard now, really solid games that are probably pretty cheap to make, I guess. I don't think they would do sprite work anymore because even Iga didn't do that for Bloodstain,
Sure.
which sucks. But I think there's a lot of people out there that love those games and would jump on a heart. Well, maybe not if Konami did it anymore. I don't know. If like another company took over that franchise or something, people would definitely buy those games, especially if they re-released them. 100% would rebuy them. Like Brandon, you would rebuy them.
Oh, yeah,
immediately.
yeah.
Jones, what's your hope for the future?
They had a little 3DS package.
Oh yeah, all the 3DS or DS games.
I'd be in deep trouble.
Yeah.
I would I would understand where Sonic fans are coming from if they came back with something like, I've forgotten the name already, what the Sonic, where it's the old school levels, but the Sonic Mania. They had Castlemania. That was like, yeah, it might look like just more Symphony of the Night to you. You're like, oh, I don't remember the Symphony of the Night castle. It's like, it's basically just Symphony of the Night, all the characters, but just a whole new castle.
Isn't that kind of what a Harmony of Dissonance was?
Yeah, but it was
Dissonance.
intended to be played because it's HD.
Yeah.
It was like Castlevania HD, basically.
Right.
And it was like intended to be played multiplayer. Like if you weren't playing that
gotcha.
multiplayer.
That one.
Sure.
I remember that one now.
But yeah, I think at this point, I think the safer bet is for a handheld thing. Like if there was an exclusive Castlevania NX, I'd be excited.
So easy.
Okay.
Just like a 2D. I would rather have a lengthier Castlevania experience than you going back to, being like, oh, we can really bring this franchise into 3D and we can, make these characters look bigger and better than they ever have. And it's like, well, last time you did that, I didn't care about any of it. I just was not attracted to
Yeah, how do you make them
getting
care?
into this world.
Panel, I still don't understand what's special about Castlevania.
Difficulty, which is why
Difficulty is essential?
it's tied so close to Bloodborne. This needs to be very very difficult platforming, very difficult boss fights, milestone boss fights. The kind of things where you walk into a room just like Bloodborne, doors close, the walls start shaking and splitting apart, and you're like, what on earth? Kind of like Contra. We just played the Super Nintendo Contra reminded me a lot of Castlevania.
I think a lot of special things Castlevania is definitely the music.
Yeah.
Is always super iconic.
I think the music is super important. Absolutely.
And like the setting, the story was like going on for years. It was connected still.
I
And it was,
love the Belmonts.
Yeah, like the Belmonts going through time, like went to like Tokyo or something like that.
I would much rather have. It's like if I had a choice between a Castlevania game where like the gameplay was okay, but the story this time, wow, versus the best gameplay ever, and there literally is like little to no story. I would so much rather take that second game.
Yeah, obviously, totally.
You don't
I
care
don't
about the
great. You know, like if I played a Castlevania game where beginning to end, and I love the 2DS and I love the 2 Game Boy Advance games, but if I played a Castlevania game where beginning to end I was never given context over who I was or why I was there, I'd be way down. Great, it doesn't matter. Like.
Well, here's the thing.
I don't matter. Dracula matters. It matters that I kill this person and not that I'm the cousin of some person and I have baggage and I have girlfriends and I don't care. Like, just get in there.
Here's a thing I'm surprised no one has mentioned yet is the aesthetic, which I think Castlevania.
Yeah, the Gothic horror. Yeah, they always nail it.
Yeah,
Always.
and it was unique at its time. Damiani, would it still be unique to make a new Castlevania game when we already have Bloodborne?
I think it's a little bit difficult to do something that stands out anymore. It'd take a pretty be a tall task for them to do it. It's not beyond the realm of possibility, but there's just been so much of the imagery thrown out in the last few years with the you mentioned Bloodborne, but there's been other games that have borrowed the kind of like the Victorian or the fantasy style, aesthetic or just like the basic, Dracula lore essentially and gone with that like kind of style. I'm thinking about like I remember the NES Castlevania games and the levels were pretty well designed. It was mostly the music. It was a platforming combined with it was action platforming is how I would define it. It was like it was Mario if he had like different more power-ups and weapons and stuff and
Whip is a cool weapon.
Yeah, it was like a constant power-up. It was like this natural evolution of like the side-scrolling action game. But it wasn't until Super Castlevania 4 with like the branch. I mean, they had happened before, but the branching paths, the map, the environments with the very minute
events
details
in that game.
Yeah, it was
so cool.
And it was like Rondo of Blood and whatever one was after that. Like they kept building upon that. Like they came out in very close proximity to each other. Those few ones at the time, and those were really good. And I was like, man, like. I don't know how you can top this. And Symphony of the Night came out. I was like, holy crap. Like, they kept just one-upping them. And then I always felt like Castlevania stumbled when it tried to make the transition to 3D. Remember all the classic franchises, when we were back around that day, in the day, how many of us were a little bit worried about the transition? Like, even journalists and magazines and publications and websites would be, it's going to be a big challenge for Metroid, for Zelda, for even Mario to jump into 3D.
Yeah.
It's like, will they be successful? There's no guarantee. It was like this barrier they all had to get through.
Bubsy.
And you saw some of them, they failed. These 2D games, like Metroid took forever to get into 3D because they couldn't figure it out a way that they were confident it was going to work. Castlevania, when you saw the PS2 ones come out, everyone was like, there was N64 ones. They weren't the best by any means.
No.
Then it's like, all right, well... That didn't work. Oh, here are the PS2 ones. Oh, they're like Devil May Cry-ish,
Kinda
sort
worked.
of.
They sold.
Yeah.
Lament of Innocence is a good game.
Sure.
The first one. It's a good game.
But they kind of tarnished or squandered that goodwill with the sequel. Or
Curse of Darkness?
The follow-up.
Yeah, Curse of Darkness is a little... It's worse. But I still beat it.
And then, like, Lords of Shadow is an interesting idea to do that, like, very story-heavy. Trying to, like, and going for that more... epic feel, like almost like mixing like God of War style battles and stuff like that. But like for the future, like making anything unique and stuff, like I'm always torn. Like I think they have to do a 2D Castlevania.
Yes, they do.
Like I don't know anything else.
I think to have that tightness, to have the difficulty be perfect, it's got to be 2D.
And I think sadly it has to be the Metroidvania type. They have to go back to what Symphony of the Night started and. Trying
so many games do that these days.
But the thing is, they could change the setting. They still have to have Dracula's castle, like that part of it. But as you've seen in other games, they've gone to other destinations and environments. They can go really crazy with some of the stuff they want to that's out there in the mythology.
Yeah, like a world map, Street Fighter style, and you're jumping around the world, going to all these different locations.
Ruin, you're going
you
through
see them
like
during the day,
to
at
like
night,
Egypt.
And there's so much to the mythology for the enemies and the bosses and stuff. They already did it in some of the games, and especially in Symphony of the Night. But Like, look at the monster mashup. It wasn't a good movie, but like Van Helsing, where they try to take all the horror mist and mash them into one. What if Dracula was like leading, like was the head honcho over like werewolves, and all the vampires, and like all the other like weird things like Dr. Frankenstein and stuff like that, and the monster. That'd be kind of cool if there was like this. They build this lore around it and stuff.
But he was in the original one.
Yeah, like build that up again and go even further with it.
Yeah,
and those are like the boss battles. Like they need to do that again. Like they need to go that and not try and do. I think it needs to serve the gameplay. I think they need to cut back on trying to the super serious story. Like the Lords of Shadow direction, don't go that way.
Didn't work.
Stay away from it.
All right, before we move on, raise your hand if you think we'll see a new Castlevania game on consoles in the next 3 years.
Ooh, I want to believe.
We got one hand, listeners. We got a hand from Brad.
I want to believe.
Damiani and Jones stay hands down. All right, cool.
Nope.
They will look at the success of Bloodstained.
I'll raise my hand too. I think
it's a no-brainer.
Damiani,
if you want to make money, do that game.
You inspired me. I want to do a whole video or maybe a series about 2D games going 3D. Because the other one I thought of, and I just was thinking about this game this week, was Earthworm Jim.
Earthworm Jim was a big one that they talked about.
And it just...
Think about Mega Man. Going from like X7, X8 or whatever.
Oh, I thought we were going to Mega Man Legends, and that'd be like total success.
Well, yes. But I'm talking like mainline, I guess.
Yeah,
X's are.
Yeah, that's a really interesting time, actually.
Like, everything had to do it. Final Fantasy had to do it.
Yeah.
Eventually, Dragon Quest had to do it.
You had to.
Like, anything that existed
Dragon Quest was actually stubborn not doing it.
Yeah, they still held up, but eventually they had to.
They made Dragon Quest 8.
Yeah, like, everything had to do that. Even, like, Doom had to go from, like, its fake, first-person sprites and, like, corridor view to, like, real 3D. So, everyone had to make the jump.
All right, I got a game for us. Here we go. I got so many good games. This one I liked because of its specificity. Hey allies. I'm suggesting a game that I call ReFour, pronounced like Recore, just with an F. Here's the scenario. I guess I didn't need to read that part. Imagine that the panel is approached by Andrew Wilson of EA.
Wow.
He says that he needs an expert opinion on future strategic decisions, and since, for a change, he does not only want the greedy corporate option, he approaches you as people who love games and have deliberate opinions. He hands you a list of game franchises that EA has published or produced in the past and that have not seen a successful sequel, if any, in the last years. For each of the franchises, you have to choose between one of the following 4 options. Number 1, remaster. Take all the game titles in the franchise and release a remastered version of them. Graphics are updated, but basically the games stay as they are. Reboot. Keep the theme and genre of the franchise, along with the main characters, intact, but reboot the whole series and start with a game that features state-of-the-art game mechanics, graphics, and storytelling. Reimagine! You keep the name of the franchise, maybe the protagonist, and the general theme setting of the in-game universe, but you make a completely different game.
Prince of Persia.
You can,
basically.
Nice. You can freely choose the genre as long as you explain why it makes sense. Furthermore, you are allowed to hand off this project to a different developer to make the most out of the game. And finally, remove. You are convinced that the franchise should never see the light of day again. Finally, Mr. Wilson emphasizes that your opinions will have an impact as long as you have solid arguments. Here we go. Love and respect from Tim.
Do they list games?
Yep.
Okay.
Here are the franchises. We have 9 franchises here.
Whoa.
Number 1, Command and Conquer.
Reboot. I say reboot that puppy. But I don't know a lot about the current state of
our real-time strategy.
Real-time strategy.
It's huge audience.
Yeah, I just don't know. Because the thing is, if like I know people appreciate the live action, but I don't know if you got a new Command and Conquer if it didn't have a live action arcane. If you're just like, well, then that's not Command and Conquer. If there's like enough RTS there that you can appreciate the game for itself. Maybe.
Wait, so do you want to refresh it, or do you want to
reboot
or reimagine?
Tomb Raider.
Okay.
Just release a video game called Command and Conquer.
Sure.
And it is a retelling of that story.
Call me crazy. I think Tomb Raider would fall under reimagine in these 4 categories. I would say it's a different genre than Tomb Raider.
Oh, don't go puzzle game on me with this. It's a reboot, clearly. It's a reboot, dude. It's a reboot.
All right. Okay.
They just told a different story. If it was like a yeah, like a party game, like yeah, that's a reimagining.
All
But
right.
like if it's
I think it's a very different game.
Okay.
a lady jumping and clinging on ledges and collecting treasure.
Brad Damiani, you fine with Jones's decision here?
Sure. I got one already.
Or
What?
other one.
Skate. Reboot it.
Ooh, Skate's not on the list, so let's put it on.
Okay,
Reboot Skate.
we got 10.
Reboot Skate.
Not a lot of competition out there right now,
Yes.
especially after the disappointment of Tony Hawk 5.
Well done, Brad. You
I
nailed
think
that
it's
one.
like perfect time to strike.
Okay.
You don't call it Skate? What would be Skate 5 4?
Skate.
4?
Skate.
Just
Just
skate.
skate.
Skate. Nice.
Cool.
Number 2, Medal of Honor.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Kill it.
We gonna let that
Yeah.
die?
Kill it. Let it go.
Bye.
I don't have any ideas for it, to be
Yeah,
honest.
no, by Medal of
Sorry,
Honor.
Medal of Honor.
Battlefield.
It's like,
Sorry.
oh, they should go
Battlefield
back to
1.
World War One.
Oh, yeah, Battlefield 1 took it. Yeah, 100% that.
Not the year to do it.
Dungeon Keeper, number 3.
No reference. Not familiar with Dungeon Keeper.
So let's
Damiani.
reimagine
Did
it.
they do the phone game? Wasn't their
Yeah.
last thing? Don't do that.
Let's reimagine that.
Do anything besides that.
Oh, let's
Yeah.
see.
Are you cool with reimagining
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
Damiani?
for sure. Reimagine.
Okay. Number 4, Dead Space.
Oh, they need to reboot that sucker.
I want to say remaster might be a good call for
No.
Dead Space. No?
No. They need to reboot that franchise.
Why?
3 left a bad taste
the
in my
three-
mouth.
yeah,
Oh,
they
you're
don't
right,
like the
because it
3.
ends so poorly. You're right. I think you got to
1,
trash that.
yes. 2, good. 3, no.
Right. And I think a third-person horror game is pretty cool. It's not worth doing a new genre or anything.
Yeah.
I think you nailed it, Brad. I think you made the right call there.
What was the official call, sir?
Reboot.
Reboot.
Reboot. Okay.
Number 5,
Yeah, this is the current gen. Yeah.
Burnout.
Oh, Burnout.
Just more. Just bring it. What's more?
There's
the
no more,
button? There's no
actually. You're
more?
right. There should be a Burnout 4. Yeah, there's like more.
So it's reimagine, reboot, remove, and what was the first one? What was it the second one you said?
Remaster. Remaster, reboot, reimagine.
Out of those 4, remaster.
I
wouldn't
think
mind.
remaster is the right call, to be
Oh
honest.
boy, yeah, just a Burnout package.
For Burnout?
Yeah, remind everybody how good actual Burnout is. Yeah.
If you just give me crash mode with like leaderboards that are current,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
I'm fairly ignorant on this
On PS4.
subject, but how many like arcade races are there like that out there?
I think there's a lot on PC. I think you have options on PC.
But 0 on console though.
Right,
With
yeah.
a huge market.
Yeah, Carmageddon's the closest.
I think you could just bring it back.
Bring it back?
Burnout. Boom.
Wait, are you doing a reboot or are you doing a
I'm
remaster?
doing a reboot on Burnout. Just bring it back.
Whoa.
Brad, we're running out of budget. We can't reboot all these series.
He's asking. I'm delivering.
Okay. Brad, I'm going to look.
Wait, what was the last Burnout? Was it Paradise?
It was Burnout Paradise. Well, there was technically that top-down one
Yeah.
that was Crash
What
mode.
was
Yeah,
the last
yeah.
numbered one?
Oh,
Paradise?
3, I think.
Oh.
3 had a
Point
number.
of impact.
Okay, do
Yeah.
Burnout 4 then.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's kind of what Jones wants to.
Yeah.
Let's just do Burnout 4.
Burnout 4, yeah.
Sorry, we're not playing your game. We're doing Jonas. We're doing Burnout 4. Number 6, I love this one. Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth.
No, I didn't
Do we think EA still has that license? I bet they do. Lord of the Rings license.
Wait.
Battle for Middle Earth. I feel
Just
like
do it, but the Hobbit movies.
no,
you're right,
I
you're
feel
gone.
like that
Get
ship
outta
has
here.
sailed, man.
Are you
I think it's a
removing
waste of money.
Hard remove, yeah.
I think it's a waste of money.
Ouch.
Let's bet on Burnout instead.
What is
Okay.
this? The aughts?
Fine. Gross, by the way. Number 7, Populous.
Wow.
Don't know.
Yeah,
know a lot
that was
about
Molyneux, wasn't it? Did Molyneux do Populous?
I think he did.
He didn't
Did it?
It's definitely a game I have no idea what it's like.
It was it was basically like before Civ. It was Civ before Civ.
Sure.
And it's like why reboot
Don't
that
they
if
have
you have
Civ?
Civ now?
They have Civ, don't they?
That's not EA's.
Didn't they do the newest Civ though?
No way,
Like
man.
that whole debacle online and everything like that? Wasn't that them?
That was
That was
SimCity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Civ City.
Gotcha.
So why don't we just remaster it? Let's throw it a bone.
Okay,
Yeah, let's remaster Populous.
sure.
All right.
Okay.
Going back.
Theme Park, number 8.
Never played it.
Yeah, but come on.
I'd be
Theme
happy with
park
I'd be
game?
happy with a remaster. I mean,
Come on, imagine going
you're talking business. You're talking a game fan, Jones? Yeah, I want that series to come back hard.
Let me just add 2 little letters to the end of that. Theme Park VR.
Yeah,
Now are we talking?
I'm way
Don't
down.
they already have stuff like that?
a VR
Like
theme
roller
park?
coasters you can ride on and stuff?
Yeah, but can you build them and then ride them?
Yeah.
No.
Damiani, why are you giving me
can
that
you-
skeptical face? You
can
know
you
this
build
is the most fun game you'd
The
ever
conveyor
play.
belt haunted mansion and
He would
then
puke
ride
all
it.
over the place. He would not play it.
I never got into theme park.
Wow. All right.
Played
so
that on PC. Played
do
Roller
Roller
Coaster
Coaster Tycoon
Tycoon.
with it.
Played
because of
PS1
Damiani's call,
version,
we
played
have
the
to remove
3DO
that
version.
one. No, it's fine. We removed it.
Theme
I'm right with it.
park.
Number 9, one very close to my heart, and I know Jones's, SSX.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Yes. Well, the last one was called SSX. I don't know if they
It's
would.
gonna be hard to reboot it
I don't know if
again.
they would call that a reboot.
Yeah.
Remaster wouldn't do it. I need to.
No.
I guess reboot's the best thing I can do if I want.
You're rebooting again?
You have to, don't you?
But I don't get I don't get a sequel option.
Avalanche.
Yeah,
or
I guess
something like that.
well, so how would we do a sequel though? I don't want a
Or a
sequel.
well, I guess a reimagining at this point would be returning to.
The first
Okay,
one?
if I gotta sell this,
Okay,
if
sell
this is really tough.
Andrew
if we're,
Wilson
if
is
we're getting
breathing
near
down
the
your
end
neck.
of this list, and he's like,
Yeah.
I don't know, I got a lead of reboots here. I'll be like,
Yeah.
okay, let me reimagine this for you.
Okay.
Okay. You're really getting into the heads of all these characters. We bring back the original cast of SSX.
Mac.
And you get into actually each of these characters Watchdog style, and you actually like learn like who they are, where do they live on this mountain, what do they do, how can certain characters be involved in certain events because well they're actually not that good. You need to get that character up to be that good to even enter them into that event. And that's like one of the things that I loved out of other games that SSX never did is like actually like get off of the board and like walk into this cabin and like
No, don't do that.
Like,
That's
you know-
what Tony Hawk did. It went off the rails. Don't do that.
Literally. Yeah, John.
gotta
that's
reimagine it.
That's insane.
got to reimagine it. I just want to live on that mountain. I want to create a fictitious environment that these characters actually exist in.
What about the best?
So when I'm doing a stunt over a building, it's not like a set. It's not like, oh, they put up some pieces of cardboard, spray painted them to look like windows, and that's what I'm flipping over. It's like, no, that's my house. Mac might actually be on the balcony, like, cool, man, like as I go by.
How cool is the one track that's an iceberg though, in the middle of the water?
Oh yeah, that's all extra bonus stuff. Like you can travel around the world and go to other places, but like they all live in one place. They all live on this mountain. This is their mountain.
So it's like
when
Animal
people come to the mountain and
Crossing
challenge them, it's like we gotta take them
where you
down.
snowboard.
Okay. All right.
I'm getting a real bad vibe from that though because of Tony
It's
Hawk.
a little
I don't know.
complicated. It's a little complicated, Jones. I gotta say.
I refuse to let Tony Hawk ruin everything in this industry.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes, baby.
Gotta move forward. Yeah, I love SSX. Boy, do I just love that game so
I mean, I want a hard reboot of 3. Like that's just remaster 3. Then I'm fine. If I can't get that, then just remaster 3 and you're done. But
Can I share another fun
there hasn't
memory?
been a lot of reimagining in this game, so I'm just
I
thinking
remember
outside the box.
I remember reading in magazines that in SSX you'd be able to shove opponents with the right analog stick, which is by the way super fun. But the PS2 is so smart that those enemies will hold grudges and want to shove you in future races.
Yeah.
I thought that was the craziest thing. Just they'll remember me?
Good old PS2.
Okay. All right, this is our last one. And I got to say this one got me because of the topic sentence.
Okay.
Hi, allies.
Hi.
Shrek.
Okay.
Period. I'm in. You got me. I'm listening. I've been thinking a lot about it lately for reasons I won't go into. But that first movie was a huge cultural phenomenon when I was a teen.
Yeah, I hated it then. I hate it now.
It seemed to be the movie to point to that. It seemed to be the movie to point to that could be enjoyed by kids and adults alike.
Sure.
But the years haven't been kind to Shrek.
Oh no, they have not.
It's still at Universal Studios in Hollywood and Florida.
Sequel after sequel seem to have driven the franchise into the ground. And the soundtrack, which once seemed to be cool yet family friendly, is now the butt end of 1,000 memes. My question is, which new video game IPs do you think we are playing and loving now that will seem incredibly dated a decade from now?
Oh, I did not see it going
Yeah, I
there.
really love this question, actually. Will anything we love today be looked back on
Destiny.
half as fondly as our Super Mario's, Resident Evil 1s, or even your Halo Combat Evolves? Love and respect for you and the show, James. So I love our in there.
What are the Shrek games?
Yeah. Because I'm actually with James. I remember, liking Shrek and thinking, wow, this movie's changing things. This is a cool CG movie.
My cultural history must be a little off. I thought Shrek 1 went under the radar largely, and it was Shrek 2 that became
Shrek
the
2 is
cultural
huge.
phenomenon.
Shrek 1 was big though. I
And
remember
then it was more after the fact, I thought. And then Shrek 2 exploded. Like, everyone anticipated it. Did gangbusters. Everyone loved it. And then from 3 on, it was like, what the hell happened to this series? Like,
Yeah.
what? Like, you thought it was going to be, like, the funniest crap ever. And it was like,
I
Not so good.
I mean, we
pretty
already
bad.
we already think this about it. I hope it's Borderlands that everyone looks back at.
It's
just like, oh.
I think Borderlands is already having Shrek effect.
Its Shrek effect is coming.
Yeah, I think we have to do one more recent because I think Borderlands is definitely in the Shrek effect right now.
For me, like they're still really popular games. And a lot of people still love them. But for me, it's Call of Duty. I was
Yeah,
just like, okay,
you think the Shrek effect?
we're just
will
getting
someday-
like too weird. I'm over this. I'm
Okay.
out. Like Call of Duty 1, I was like, yeah. Call of Duty 2, yeah. Then like Big Red 1, I'm like, wait, no.
Here's the thing, Brad. I'm gonna make you do a game that you like right now. What game do you like right
now?
now that you think is gonna be a Shrek effect later on?
I don't know. Have to come back to me.
All right, Damiani, what's your Shrek game right now? You think everything you like right now is gonna be super cool in 10 years too?
The thing is, a lot of it isn't. Not all of it's new.
Sure.
So it's already
Yeah.
been around long enough
Got
that it hasn't suffered the Shrek effect.
Stay with me here, okay?
Okay.
Dark Souls.
Wow.
So Miyazaki does not want to
Bold.
work on another Dark Souls, but
Yes.
there are rumors and talks maybe that another company might take over.
Well
see.
done.
And
That's
if
what I
someone
want.
else does that.
Perfect. And Metal Gear is the next one after
Oh
that.
yeah, Metal Gear.
Yes.
Yes.
Metal Gear Survive.
Oh,
yeah,
Metal
yeah,
there you
Gear,
go.
for sure.
There you go.
Yeah, and that will. I honestly think it'll taint the other games, and we'll look back at 4 and we'll look back at 5, like, oh, why did we ever like Metal Gear Solid? Even though Metal Gear, like Shrek 1 is still a good movie, we look back at Shrek like this thing sucks. This music blows. Yeah, I could absolutely see it happening in those two games.
Can I, for the record, say that Shrek 1's not a good movie?
Sure.
You can,
I thought
guess.
it was okay.
I mean, just for the record, I just
Yeah,
wanted
it wasn't the greatest. 2
It's
was
really
the strongest
good.
one in my opinion.
It subverts
awesome.
expectations.
Cool.
Hey now,
Eddie
you're an
Murphy.
all-star.
I mean, people's expectations were Mike
cat's
Myers
great.
doing a Scottish guy
Listen, but-
impression for 2 hours.
Have you seen? Have you heard?
Donkey,
Have
just
you
doing
heard the
that.
Chris? Have you seen the Chris Farley video of all of his takes?
No.
It's like a character. It's like Chris Farley's actually, like, being like, I'm actually a ogre who's sad.
Oh, I
Whereas
see.
like, you know, that's not what we got.
Yeah, Mike Myers kind of sucks, doesn't he? He's kind of like
He's all right. I mean,
okay,
he's.
he's
I mean,
all right.
I mean,
Yeah.
hey, you asked me 20 years ago. Wayne's World was the best damn thing ever. Like, I was way into Mike Myers in his SNL days.
He was doing it for everyone else by
and-
the time
and,
Shrek 3
uh,
came around.
Austin Powers 1 is stellar. Austin Powers 2 is
Yeah.
decent.
Yeah.
But
Gold member?
Shrek pisses me off because it's a film about fantasy, and I'm like, oh, cool, you're making a fantasy farce. 3.2% of the jokes in the first Shrek film have anything to do with fantasy. And the rest is just like, whatever. It's
Here's
like,
Smash Mouth.
doesn't matter. We could be making a sci-fi film, you'd make the same joke. We could be making a Western, you'd make the same joke. You make the same joke. It's like,
Jones, you and I are going to watch some Shrek.
great.
That is so incorrect.
They do have like the jokes about like.
So when you say like, oh, the
medieval
third one
time
really went
stuff
off the rails, it's like they're
mixed
just
with
doing the
modern
same thing
stuff.
again and
Yeah.
again.
Like they
It's
play,
the same.
yeah, they do a lot of like, not necessarily anachronisms, but like sort of anachronisms.
They make fun of Disneyland.
Yeah,
That's
the
why Jones
whole-
hates it so much, because it's making fun of
Well,
Disney.
they have terrible soundtracks. That's one reason I hate that. They're
Yeah, I
so
don't-
bad.
the soundtrack's getting worse. It's
Funky
like they were
Town?
always bad. Yeah,
Come
they were
on.
always bad.
No. That seems like I don't give a damn about my reputation. And I'm like,
Oh my
whoa,
God, I
they
hate
said
that.
damn in this movie.
I hate
thought that was
that.
so cool.
It's so I hate when
No,
movies
the
do
best
that.
part was the Bonnie Tyler Hero song.
Which is what?
In Shrek.
I don't know what the Bonnie
Tyler.
Tyler hero song.
I need a
is.
hero.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I need a hero.
Yeah, like oh my gosh,
So
whatever.
bad. Then they start like going to alternate dimensions. You are off
Oh,
the rails
yeah.
at that point. That's
Oh, yeah.
filler.
It's like, you know
That
what
is
movies
filler.
don't do? You know what movies don't do that? Princess Bride. You know what movies don't do that? Monty Python and the Holy Grail. They don't do it. They actually fill 2 hours of jokes about the subject matter. It's not that hard. It's not that hard.
Monty Python's jokes are about the subject matter.
No, but they're not like I wouldn't show that much stuff
That
to
little
kids, and the
rabbit,
kids would
the
be like,
rabid
"Wait,
rabbits
what's
is
this?
about
What's
the
this? I
subject
don't understand.
matter?
What's a rabbit? Like a kid would know what a rabbit
These
is.
guys are
The
just
kid would laugh
clumping
that the
coconuts.
rabbit is jokes
That's
is
about
like
the
jumping at
subject
people.
matter.
But if they're referencing some film that came out in 1999, it's like some kids would be like, What's the? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me break out a whole nother DVD that you have to watch to have a reference for that film. As opposed to, do you like fantasy? Let's do it.
Oh my god.
Do you like fantasy? Let me show you a film called The Princess Bride that is a parody of fantasy that makes fun of fantasy and yet is in its own right a good film. Shrek is not.
Shrek
They
is,
gave up.
Shrek is better than
They made it
Princess
about
Bride.
10% through the production of that film, and then we're just like, forget it. Let's just go into those room with all those other comedy writers and bring them in, and we'll just finish the script.
Oh no. Oh, Jones, we got to do a rewatch.
Settle it, Shrek.
We got to do Settle It Shrek. We have to, Jones. We got to find some common ground on Shrek. Jones, before we end the podcast, I need you to give me a Shrek Effect game.
A Shrek Effect game. Oh, they were so good though. Metal Gear was the best.
Yeah, well,
It's so
honestly,
good.
I think Metal Gear has lasted too long. I think maybe late gen Metal Gear, but I don't really think that could happen to Metal Gear. In all honesty, Shrek Effect. I think Shrek Effect happened to The Division really fast.
Sure, but that's like.
yeah.
Yeah,
But I would think of a game that would get more sequels.
yeah.
I wonder if like Minecraft would. But Minecraft doesn't seem like it's going
Wow,
away.
do you
But I
ever
wonder
think that kids will look back at Minecraft and say that game sucked? Look
if
at
just
it.
something comes
Yeah.
along, that they all just jump ship, and then you have this like older set that's like, yay, still Minecraft, and the kids are like, no, man, Minecraft's not cool anymore.
Yeah, I wonder if that'll happen. It's to answer the question, it's impossible. It's impossible to predict what is Shrek right now.
We wouldn't have these jobs if we could do that.
Yeah. I mean, we're pretty good at sometimes picking out what games are going to be stinkers, but yeah, it's,
Be careful with Dark Souls.
be
all I'm
careful
gonna
with
say.
Dark
Be
Souls.
careful.
That was our best answer. Well done, Brad. Okay, so that was Love and Respect. Oh, God. I want to do 8 more. We got some really
I love
good
them.
ones. Yeah.
I just want to do a podcast called Love and Respect. It's the
yeah.
best.
I wonder, I don't know if that would work. I wonder if people would get tired of it. If we're answering questions the whole
We
time.
need to answer more questions on our shows, is what I'm saying. That's the way we do it all the
I
time.
love your
all we ever do.
questions.
By the way, I'm so glad that you handled the whole Oculus thing on the other podcast, so we didn't have to do it on this one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, appreciate it. So go listen to Frame Trap if you want to hear
was a
hot
goodie.
takes on the Oculus Rift and whether you
was
should buy one these days
That was a meaty convo.
because of Palmer Luckey. Okay, let's talk about bets. Next week's bets. No, let's do next week's
Okay.
bet. Yokai Watch 2, Fleshy Souls, and Yokai 2 Watch 2, Bony Spirits. It just now, when I read that and laughed, I remembered the beginning of this podcast in which Brad said, Yokai. So 2 games coming out this Friday, Yokai Watch 2, Fleshy Souls, and Bony Spirits. Much like our little debate we had at the beginning of this podcast, 2 versions of this game. They are much like Pokemon more than they are Fire Emblem Fates, which will have more Amazon user reviews and by how many between Fleshy Souls and Bony Spirits. Brandon Jones.
I believe I'm going against the grain. I'm going to say Bony Spirits, because I like that title more.
Okay.
I'm going to say 20 reviews.
Michael Damiani.
Fleshy Souls, 15 reviews more.
Bony Spirit,
Ooh.
25 reviews.
Wow. And I went Fleshy Souls by 52.
Ooh. You went on? Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
So wait, what'd you pick? You picked
Bony
Bony.
Spirits 20.
So it's Damiani and I went Fleshy.
Ooh, this is going to be a tough one to figure out who won what.
Well, no, it'll be easy.
Or Spirit.
Because I explained this to Ian.
Right.
Well, that won't even count. That scenario never occurred. So one of us will definitely be the winner of this bet.
Yeah.
Cool. Let me lock those in. Okay, last week's bet. We got to do this live, actually.
Oh.
Damiani, can you pull out your phone and go to twitter.com and look for Sonic the Hedgehog? Because here's what we bet last week. Sonic and Boom, Fire and Ice, released as we spoke about. Sonic the Hedgehog, very big on Twitter, but still has to sell some games sometimes.
Sure.
How many retweets on Sonic's most recent tweet about Sonic, Boom, Fire and Ice will there be?
Not a reply. You actually got to go to their actual tweets.
Yep. Jones, you bet 800.
Right.
Ian bet 5,200. Michael Huber bet 1,111. I bet 2,390. Don bet 2,890. Of course, we ripped it up. Let me cross that off. Damiani, how many retweets are there on the most recent tweets?
It has to be made by them. It can't be a retweet they did, right?
No, right. It's got to be
Okay.
about Sonic, Boom, Fire and Ice.
So the most recent one was a retweet by Jen. Something about Game Grumps. Okay, one day ago, Sonic Boom Fire and Ice arrives on Nintendo 3DS tomorrow.
Oh, no.
And it's the retweets?
Yep.
371.
Oh, no one cares.
No one cares. Jones is so stoked.
Wow. Well, we were even checking it last week, and they were in the thousands on a couple of those.
They are. If you look at, I even peeked last night just to make see how it was looking. If you look at like other tweets, yes, so many retweets,
Yeah.
so many retweets.
If they tweet out
So-
just saying
And
chili
there's like a
dog, they would
big
have got
fancy GIF
8,000.
and everything.
There's
Like
there's
a
one
big-
the one before it, which
Yeah.
is the stop the GIF on See What You Are.
Yep.
Had over 1,000 retweets.
and
but-
it's still a Fire and Ice tweet.
But just the one-
But this is the
but
most
the one
recent.
that's the hard sell.
The hard
nobody
sell,
cares.
No one cares. Snakes on a Plane effect. Everyone
is
likes
that?
the memes and stuff and the jokes about the product, but they don't want to
When it actually
wants to
comes
go
time to
spend
buy a
money and
ticket.
care about the actual product itself.
Yeah, and Jones was the only one to see it.
Look at that. Their meme ones get so many. Like, watch your step, first day of fall.
Okay, how many retweets on that?
1,700.
1,700, yeah. And it's just a Sonic GIF with leaves falling, yeah.
Yeah, literally everyone he's saying is like,
Wait.
look at the characters. Like, yes. It's like, here's the game coming
Gotta do a
out.
correction to myself.
Okay.
So an older post of theirs about Sonic Mania Collector's Edition, where they did like a joke thing.
Oh, it's a very good trailer. Worth watching.
7,000
Oh, yeah.
retweets.
That's
Yeah.
good stuff.
So they care about something products.
They don't care
right.
about
Don't-
Fire and
They don't
Ice.
care about
Right.
Fire and Ice, Sonic
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. If they're selling Sonic Mania, yeah, people retweet them out the
Yeah.
butt. But when it comes to Sonic Boom, Fire and Ice, not a lot of love. So that brings us to Green Lizards 12, Red Eagles 15. It's been a while since Jones won.
We're catching up, though. Watch your backs.
Yeah, you did lose Don though because you pulled in within 2. So Jones, because you've won, let's do some Patreon plugs before that. But we'll just say what you've won. You've won the right responsibility to tell everyone your Twitter handle. You get to promote any Easy Eyes video you choose. You get to correct or reinstate any statement that you'd like throughout you get the final word on anything said in the podcast, and you get to sign off with your trademark sign off. But let's talk about Patreon for a second.
Sure. Patreon's a website.
Okay.
People will go to the website patreon.com when they are, say, creative types or production specialists. And they produce a volume of work, and they want people to see that. But making large volumes of work costs money. And we figured, hey, we have fans, we have people that support us. Maybe they might be possibly willing to help us continue creating this content via Patreon. And we were correct to the tune currently of almost $40,000. But as we have proven, hopefully in our first 6 months of existence, every single time we get just a little bit of bump in any particular direction, we will produce more, we will do more. We already have things we are planning regardless of what that number is going to be in the next couple of months. But there are definitely things that we absolutely cannot wait to do, but we cannot do until we get more support. So seeing more money coming in every month is fantastic via Patreon, patreon.com/easyallies. But just seeing that number go up is great. I actually get lots of notices from people that are like, I'm at 75 right now. I gotta drop to 50, but I'll get back to 75. And I'm just like, dude, like,
Don't worry about it.
That's insane. Like, thank you. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That you do that you wrote me that message. So if you don't even want to spend $1, just let your friends know about us. Just get the word out. Maybe just throw this podcast up on Twitter and say like, hey, these guys ain't half bad.
Personally, and I should explain that the $5 tier of our Patreon page is basically the Easy Eyes podcast tier. With that, you get the podcast early, usually on Wednesdays, and instead of Fridays, and you get to submit to Love and Respect, which
Which
didn't
can be
explain
a
yet.
game or just a silly question or really anything.
Yeah.
And any pro tips on submitting stuff for
Ooh,
Love and Respect?
You just reminded me something. There is one Love and Respect that I really wanted to do. Which was just like a nothing. It wasn't a question. It wasn't a game or anything. Here we go. Bonus Love and Respect, everybody. Love and Respect. This is from Sigma 10. Nope, just from Sigma.
Okay.
Good day, allies. NX November 10th. Do you think my hypothesis is good? That's the reveal date of the video game console. Great call. It's
Yeah.
November 10th.
There it is. Confirmed.
Sigma, you get a prize. But I just loved, what a weird comment. I love it. Sorry, Jones, back to you. I just really wanted to read that one this week.
And if you want other stuff, twitch.tv/easyallies, youtube.com/easyallies, youtube.com/easyallies plays, where you'll see all of our streams that we do all backed up there. And easyallies.com, best way to find out everything we're doing across the webs. Symphony of the Night is really a fantastic achievement, but Super Castlevania 4 is without a doubt my favorite Castlevania game. So I just shout out to Super Castlevania 4. You can find me at Trailer Jones. I strongly suggest you watch the newest episode of Tabletop Escapades, which goes up tomorrow, I believe, which is today. It goes up the same day as this podcast for people who are $5 patrons or more. I might have snuck on that episode of Tabletop Escapades and done some fun stuff.
Oh, so if I'm somebody who's never watched Tabletop Escapades,
Yeah.
this might be a good one to watch.
I believe Kyle Bossman is not in this episode, so that might be your perfect chance to just slip right in, get all the positive.
It's an intimidating
and none
show.
of the
It's an
negative.
intimidating show to break into.
Yep.
It's an intimidating. D&D is intimidating to break into, no matter
Yeah,
what.
absolutely. And so I think it's cool that this is a one-off anyway. This week's to hop into.
Yeah,
Can you tease it?
I do play lots of D&D, and it's fun to get back to Ben. Fun to have Ben spin the tale and throw questions at Ben. There were a couple times I asked questions that the table's legitimately like, oh, that's actually a Dungeons and Dragons question.
Real
Whoa.
D&D was brought up several times.
Like Ben didn't know what to do. He was like,
Awesome.
"Oh, you want to know that?" I'm like, "I kind of do. I'm making the decision regarding it." He was like, "Oh, okay." Like, when did exactly combat begin? He was like, "Oh."
Cool, Jones. All right.
That was super fun. So thank you for Ben for putting that together. Hopefully Ben will be around next week on the podcast.
Hopefully.
Cheers, everybody. The Easy Allies would like to thank our Patreon podcast producers. We apologize in advance for all the ally names we are about to misspell and mispronounce. Ebb Software, Michael Kozachenko, Mango, Lordran and Beyond, Sweet Justice, YoYoTricks.com, Simon Anderson, Nick, Jesse Fish, Rick Argomenes, Lucas Smith, Caleb Aranda, Richard Smuts, 44 Stars, Michael Favacci, Ryan Anderson, Steven, Walker Hope, Machine and Soul, Ken Layer, John Tyson, Professor Metal Gear, Zachary Wingate, David Witt, Beaten Down Brian, Gustav Gerzilla Strombaum, Leaf Johnson, Bradley Spees, Boris Scherl, Jared Reif, Peter Ward, Matthew Pauling, Datamouth, Maria, Gino Elite, Silent Consonant, Yasser Alusani, Jason A. Sackle, Candy Coated Thorns, G. Levin, Charles Anthony Iapicino, Neil Genero, G. Ken, Serial Gamer, Thomas Rogers, Tim O'Keefe, Brian Woods, Robert Stoffel, Colt Doss, Paul Nalsund, Jason Joint, Andrew Stoke, Jay Shee, Wobess, Giru017, Yong Lee, Taylor Bingham, Paul Judge, Paulo Costabel, Phoenix Doss, Osama Alarbi, Lee Young, Conglator, Andrew Kidd, Peter Davis, Skolopen, Clayton Ingram, Greg Kettering, Brad Lohman, Gary Fair, Ian Santa Anna, Jeffrey Mitchell, Thim Strothman, David Peterson, Derek Bartnett, Blue Suitor, Liana Lixandru, Matthew Shornig, Todd Yurkovic, Ahmad Sami, Mikkel Bach Sorensen, Usman Khan, Yobuts, Michael Bisegli, Hesperus84, Athena, Patrick Chong, Talenthus, Wesley Welcomer, Umar Chaudhry, Monica, Chum Nguyen, Isabella Crane, Jordan Kirk, Paul Young, Stephen Last, Tanner Holmes, Suiko Shining Force 2, The Banana Forklift Killer, Ingo Tulets, Robert I, Kaylee Murdoch, Joaquim Morovuo, Marcel Markov, Mark J. Betters II, Nefertiti Jenkins, Joel Olson, David Wen, Steve Wong, Brent Phillips, Johannes Bretz, Marius Smith, Turbo Girl, Kuvshinov Ilya, Joshua Layer, Brandon, Catherine Lai, Tralium, Gary James, Impact 93, Rory McGuire, Ian Bradburn, Corey Jackson, Robert Crouch, Juan Lobo, Michael Schreiber, Sven von Brand, Manuel Gebert, G. Sith, Fabian Schuster, Oscar Stahl, Ulf himself, Luis Ibarra, Adam Damond, Mikhail Agnell, Isun Chor, Code Red, Walid WSF 88, Jared Putman, Forrest Polk, Jean-Francois Bellinger Dumas, Yuri Divinity von Leeuwen, Mike Hook 1, Thomas Einsporn, Jamie Jackman, Preston Swaggerty Haggerty, Mauricio Fuentes, Brendan Townsley, Xylo Wolfbane, Quickscares.com, Freaker, Alexander Schiller, Neil Brophy, Captain Fancy Pants, Yoon Kim, Michael Eaton, Zinterax, Modren, Stephen Cohen, Biltone Mayum, Connor Rosine, Paul Bishop, Sean Smith, Jimmy Mileson, Carl Williams, Trey Whetstone, Tony Knox, Matthew McCarthy, Sean Mackey, Leroy Anderson, Reed Johnson, Manuel Thomas, Peter Wen, Adam Scherenbrock, Kurzistov Rogowski, Themo Preuss, Erland Hedervik, Bjornar Haraldsvik, Joel Peterson, Alfredo Gonzalez, David Flynn, Sean De Almeida, Zach Bardsley, Chris Sleep, Riche Nadeau, Dan Sebring, Oliver Brandt, Jacob Whittington, Charlie, Trizac, Mike and Tasha Garcia, Eric Maynard, Jeff Robertson, Robert Stark, Animation Eddie, Dennis Franklin, Leon Keys, Austin Belzer, Jordan Thomas, Andrew Allen, Darren Banish, Ahmad, Todd Paxton, Anthony Adati, Taggart McStone, Fastmower, Thorir Danielson, Wayne Brannigan, Faraz Rizvi, Zoostick, Don Turner, Julie Dugdale, Luke Mivshak, Otto Mustonen, Christopher Ratliff, Garrett Evett, Thomas Abrams, Anthony Gomez, Sean McGowan, Kyle Bradford, Miles Walden, Edison S. Prada Jr., Ian Barker, Alexandra Braveglieri, Zach Latham, Carlos Lopez, Marty Savage, Travis Ing, Bryce Ray Parker, Tuttle, Stuart Siddall, William Kirk, Connor Ross, Matt Gunther, Evan Eng, Joshua Van Swal, Ryan E. Garcia, Eric Gustafson, Refill, Sebastian Trier, Bonnie and Jason Connor, Jeffrey Daniel Lasley, Gustav Summers, Stephen Walther, Kevin Camposano, Ryan Cohen, Adam Mulaney, David Ferber, Link666 Goron, Terrence Ireland, Ibrahim Sozer, Simon Gauthier, Momo Rashid, Lance Mink, Matthias Larson, Kristen Rogers, Richard Eiley, Justin Wenderoth, Niz Kloshgard, Grace, Calgareth, Eddie Reisner, Chase Caldwell, Andrew Buchter, Rebecca Woods, Barry, Mizek, Andrew Wanser, Gon Kef, Adam Henry, Alonzo Jasberry, Christ Abramian, Mac Jam, Caffeine Rage, David Kennedy, Durgesh Patel, Calder Furtig, Sarah, Thanos Varthakouris, Benny Samuelson, Olivier Castide, Trolls Rasmussen, The Original Snitch, Daniel Wong, Darius Chambers, Eddie Velasquez, Cheryl Paracchio, Ahab, Justin Cunningham, John Meyer, Jordan Eves, Colby Keith, Junya Motomura, Jake Musser, Daniel Errico, Eric Santoy, Jethro Lang, Ya Boy Benny B, Mons Anderson, Aldira, Kevin DeBolt, Hansel S. Thompson, Eduardo Lopez Pineda, Morgan Worth, Sam Sorensen, Pixel Critics, Caleb Crawford, Matt Ferguson, Christine Shireman, Michael Tanek, Poogie Boogie, Peyton Wiederspan, David Ebby, Chris the Pianist, Christine Draws, Michelle Nubb, Sandra and Richard Acero, Jerome Ortman, Robert Marquardt, Carlos Gonzalez, Joe Burns, David Tran, Monica X. Avaria, Alan Wen, Adam Barker, Philip Klarskov Jensen, Niels Frederick Elbol, Holy Hand Grenade, Sun Pham, Taylor Hoyt, Alex Monaco, Evan Anderson, Fumbles, Nuno Amaral, Galen Moxley Hagert, Twisted Heart, David Boyarsky, Rajiv Maharaj, Ciara Wheeler, Sean McGing, Dirtbag Daryl, KBM 13, Henry Clark, Daggeth, Brennan Hrehorik, Christopher Santis, Marco Flores, Daniel Bushnell, Tarek Kother, Extravaganza, Gali Gutierrez, Mark Alvarado, PJ Motomi Garona, Michael Kozak, Daniel Tams, Mo Sutton 1776, Julio Ruiz, wow, that was epic, Andy H., Lars Berger, Spry Farron, Atoshigami, James Kennedy, Fabian Kindle, Trey Blissett, Remy Loisel, Peter Shoemaker, Marius Matheson, Sergio Ruben Hernandez Gallegos, Vannery C., Irvin De La Torre, Jonathan Redbeard McWilliams, Cyberboa, Calvin Crack, Devin Gibbs, Azazel Valkyrie, Michael Esme, Garrett Fox, Christopher Foss, Bobby Trizzle, Outcast Writer, Helping Leon, Self-Confessed Cynic, Roman Gamepire, V. Kira Ray, Tristan Howard, Hugo Calm, Jeremiah Snowden, Dinesh Patel, Michael Agent, Nestor Reyes, Gonzalo Sands, Elizabeth, Shannon Gates, Justin Masick, Justin Wren, Michael Gerhard, Adam N., David Hannon, Ryan Powers, Robert Ori Einerson, Phoenix Rouge, Christopher Donnelly, Michael Rebelato, Jason Huberts, Jesper Lawson, Joel Short, Marco Hernandez, Brian Cause, Chad Ball, Sehun Kim, Andrew Amos, Fat Shadow, Struggler, Tense George, Joey and Kate, Luke Arnold, Christian Yamau, Raymond Chow, Ian Anderson, Tongue Surgery, James Helmus, Natalie Mickelborg, Hasney, Skender Yashari, Alexander Patashkin, Thomas Wigington Jr., Trenton Robison, The Hashtagonist, Kim Monk Vonderleaf Haagensen Petersen, Colin Hoylman, Reed Marlett, Evan Anderson, Ali Khan Sunger, Justice Brennan, Andrew Gregoire, Rerun, Simply X, James Blair, Arkham Fantasy, Rosamoon, Dale Sun, Paul Derwanko, Spencer Stevens, Christian Wells, Siahi Jabbar, Juan, Elliot Moscow, Jonas, Ivan Ponce, Christopher A. Butler, John Prey, Sebastian Urban, Marco Zanone, Alec Church, Jake Landry.